Hey guys, Tom here. Welcome back to the Grantham Pub Underground and welcome to summer. Just hanging out, got my summer shirt on, my shades, but I can't see you too well, so I'm going to take them off. This great episode for you today. We are going to, well, I'm going to, and you're going to watch. We're going to make some classic summer drinks, but we're going to shake it up a little bit and we're going to put a little bit of a twist. I mean, they're not all classic summer drinks per se. One's just a classic cocktail, but we're going to twist them up and turn them into something even better for summer. But before I get started, if you like this kind of thing, cocktails, spirits, hanging out, talking about having a good time with your family and friends, be sure to subscribe to the Grantham Pub Underground and hit the bell icon so whenever something new comes along, you can check it out and be sure to watch it right away and be ready for all your fun summer activities with your family and friends. So, we are going to twist up classic drinks. And the first one that we're going to twist up is probably, if you watch, you listen, and by the way, speaking of listening, have you checked out the first episode of Last Call at Grantham Pub Underground? It's the new podcast that goes along with what we're doing here. And the first one is all about bourbon. I'll put a link into it. You can watch it on the channel. You can listen to the podcast on any of your podcast platforms. It's hosted by Buzzsprout, but you can find it on Stitcher, I think Amazon, maybe Apple, iHeartRadio. So find it. I'll leave you links for all that. It's really cool. If you're into bourbon, definitely check it out. But it just like the history and origins and just knowing more about things, I think it's really good. But hey, I made it, so. But I'll leave you a link. Check it out if you want. I'd really appreciate it. Tell me what you think. So, speaking of bourbon, so the first drink I have for you, it's called a Peach Me, as you can tell by the cool jest sign. And it is a summertime riff on probably one of the most classic of all drinks, and that is the Old Fashioned. If you want to learn how to make an Old Fashioned, probably right over here, there'll be a way you can find out how to make an Old Fashioned. But we are going to summarize it. And by summarize it, I mean make it into a summer drink, not do the Cliff Notes of it. And it's going to start as all good old-fashioned starts, in a glass with a cherry. And do yourself a favor. Get yourself a good cherry. Don't just use, I mean, you can, I guess in a pinch you can, but try not to use one of those, actually I'm going to put them both in there. Try not to use one of those, bright neon red dyed cherries that you find that you put on like an ice cream sundae. It's just not the same. Now, if you want to really bust the bank, you can get, a jar of regular maraschino cherries is like $4 or $5, but you can get what's called I think it's called a Luxardo cherries. And for the same jar, it's like $20, $25. But they're supposed to be really good. That's not in my budget, but maybe for you. So in here is a good natural maraschino cherry, no dyes, no artificial flavors, an orange, and a couple splashes of bitters. 3 splashes to be exact. And what we are going to do is muddle that. I'm sure you all know how to muddle. You just get your muddler, or if you don't have a muddler, you can get the handle of a sturdy wooden spoon and just kind of pulverize it a little bit. Peel and all, doesn't matter. We're going to strain this. I mean, you don't got to go crazy. That's probably good enough. And that's what it looks like. So on top of that, bourbon. My friend, my pal, bourbon. We need 2.5 ounces of bourbon. And use a good bourbon for this. It's summertime. I mean, use, well, I guess any bourbon you like is good bourbon. I mean, I happen to have some bonded bourbon. It's probably a little overkill for this, but you know what? Such is life. So I'm going to do about 2.5 or so of bourbon. And then in this drink, you would ordinarily put simple syrup. We are going to replace simple syrup with peach schnapps. This is a nice summertime drink, and you don't need a lot of peach. This is probably a 1/2 ounce of peach, maybe a little more. That gives you the sweetness. It gives you the summeriness of what puts our drinks, gives a little summer twist to our drinks. Just doing a little housekeeping here. And then that's it. Then just put some ice in here. Throw it on the floor. It's very important. Anytime you get ice, you throw it on the floor. And that's my superpower, by the way, in case you didn't know. Anytime I get ice, whether it's out of the freezer, out of a glass, one always ends on the floor. I don't know why that is, but it is. And then just give it a little stir. I don't know how to do that thing like the fancy bartenders do, where they stir everything all around. I'm just going to stir it. I want to get all that fun stuff in there. Get it cold. That's probably pretty good. And then what you need is a glass with ice. Well, first, that's not the glass I want. I got this glass, my yard sale glass. I just got it at a yard sale a couple weeks ago. They're very cool glasses, I think. See? Cool glass. Orange. If you have another cherry, you could put it in there. And you want some ice, but you don't want a lot of little ice. If you check out either the Bourbon video or the Bourbon podcast, and I suggest you do, one big ice. I mean, in a perfect world, it would be one big clear ice, but it's not. And then we're going to double strain. A strainer on a strainer. And that, friends, is the perfect start to any summer cocktail party. The Peach Me. So what's next? Well, as you can see on the board, the next drink we are going to make is called a Yerba Linda, or not Yerba Linda, Yerba Bueno. Yerba Bueno. If you speak Spanish, you know that means good herb. So how do you make a good herb? You start with a glass. And this drink is a riff on, I would say, it's like if a Dark and Stormy and a mojito, it's the love child of a Dark and Stormy and a mojito. I put my own little spin on it. And this drink was invented by a chef from Northern California called Donna Scala. She has since passed away, unfortunately. But I found this drink and I thought it was really cool. And it starts with, if you have a garden and you grow mint, you can make this drink. I mean, do something else besides mojitos. And you need 8 mint leaves. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what is your go-to summer drink besides these that are going to be your now go-to summer drink? What do you think? And then on top of that, we require a little agave syrup. Not a lot, about a 1/2 ounce or so. And this replaces the simple syrup in a mojito. And then, again, on the mojito path, some lime, fresh lime. You know, lime comes, would you see that? About a 1/2 ounce of lime. or more. I like a lot of lime, so I'm gonna put another. And remember, lime comes in something that looks like this. It doesn't come in a jar. So whoa, juicy limes. That's the juice of a whole lime. Make sure, once again, you have to get it everywhere. And then we're going to muddle again. I'll use this muddler this time. Again, now here's the thing. When you're muddling lime, and I kind of make this mistake, especially when I'm making mojitos, I pulverize the crap out of it. Again, if you want to learn how to make a mojito, right here, I'll show you how. I have a whole video somewhere about mint. I mean, there's two really classic. There's mojito and then the mint julep. But don't pulverize it to like nothing. You just kind of want to, kind of coax the mintiness out of it. Because what happens if you like pulverize it to death is you're busting up the chlorophyll, and that can kind of make it taste bitter. And you don't want it to taste like gum. You just want it to taste fresh and minty. And then on top of that, you need ice. Now, in Donna's original recipe, as I'm making all kind of ice noise, she uses Reposado tequila. I don't have Reposado tequila. I have silver tequila, which I'm going to use in a minute. But I think I'm going to use dark rum. Why? Because I like dark rum. I think you'll still get the same, what am I looking for? The same, a rich taste, kind of, sort of, that you would from a Reposado, if it's a nice dark rum. So you need about 2 ounces of that. And then you're going to give it a shake. You need a nice tall glass for this. Again. And this, you want a lot of ice. You could use crushed ice if you want. Another strain. You're probably thinking to yourself, Tom, that doesn't fill the glass. Well, it will in a minute. Because what goes in next is, if I can find it, ginger beer. Now, if you were stuck and you had to, could you use ginger ale? I suppose. But get yourself a nice ginger beer. I mean, you can find them anywhere. Every supermarket has them nowadays. So why not? A lime, another little piece of mint. Do I have a straw down here? I'll be right back. I don't have any straws down here. So tough, we're gonna go strawless. And then that is your yerba buena, courtesy of the late chef, Donna Scala. Thanks, Donna. And finally, probably one of the all-time summer classic cocktails, the Margarita. But we're going to twist it up and make a Lagarita. And it starts with an optional step. If you like it, you can do it. Get yourself some salt, some lime. Line the edge of your glass. Good enough. And then once again, fill it with ice if you can do it without wrecking all the salt. Oh, there goes another one. Let's see if I can just pour here. Okay, this one we can make right in the glass. And no, we're not going to make it right in the glass. We're going to make it in a shaker. Well, I mean, you could make it right in the glass, but I don't know. I have a little bit of ice. So this one requires tequila. We're making a margarita after all. And while I'm doing this, 2 ounces of tequila. Some orange liqueur. If you have Cointreau, Grand Marnier, you could use that. I am just going to use some triple sec. Now I suppose if you wanted to be a little freaky, you could use orange curacao or a blue curacao and make this a weird colored drink. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not, but I'm not saying I haven't done it in the past. Some lime. Is that it? Now I know some people like a little sweet in their what you call it, margaritas, but I'm not going to do that today. Just give it a shake. That goes in here. And it's called a Lagarita. So get yourself a nice Mexican lager. Save the rest for later. Where did I put that ice? I'd like a little more ice, so I'm just going to use this shaker ice. And if I had another piece of lime, here, I'll just steal this one. You have a riff on the classic margarita, the Lagarita. So here's 3 great drinks. And before I forget, because this is the one I'm going to try first, is Peach Me. This drink is courtesy of a guy called Jason Shulo. He is the beverage director of a resort chain that runs casinos and I think hotels in Vegas, Nevada, Maryland. So cheers to Jason. So twist on the old fashioned, the Peach Me, love child of the Mojito and Dark and Stormy, the Yerba Bueno. Bueno. Sorry, my Spanish is bad. And the Lagarita. So what are we going to try first? You know what we're trying first. Cheers to summer. Wait, let's do this right. Now, cheers to summer. That's good. It's, you know what? I actually think it could probably use a little more peach. Because I don't get a lot of peach. Let's see. I don't think it's supposed to taste like overly peachy necessarily. But I think it depends on, too, the bourbon that you use. Let's try it now. Yeah, that's better. What I'm going to tell you to do, I'm going to adjust the recipe to use a whole ounce of peach. I think, what do I call for here? 2.5 bourbon, ½ ounce peach. Either 3/4, you might even go a whole ounce of peach. I think that'd be really good. But that's really good because it's bourbon. So now let's try the Yerba Buena. I'm sorry, my Spanish is terrible. Wow. Ginger and mint go so well together. That's killer right there. Wow. Boy, is that good. And finally, I didn't even mix this, did I? Do you need to mix it? Probably not. We'll mix it a little. So I'm curious, what do you guys got going on for the summer? Tell me some of your favorite summer drinks, or something that you'd like to see if I haven't already made it, or something you'd like to talk about. Anything. Talk to me. That's what you do to bartenders. You sit down, you talk to them. So, cheers to Lagarita. That's good. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a super big tequila guy, but that's good. I think even though this is bourbon, this might be my favorite. So that's it, friends. We're ready for summer. We got 3. Whether you're going to a beach party, I don't know that I would drink it. If you had a plastic cup, this would probably be the beachiest one, I would think. Barbecue, pool party, whatever. Drinks of summer, you can't go wrong with any one of these 3. So thanks for stopping by the Grantham Pub Underground. Remember, we got a lot of videos just like this. Subscribe, hit the bell, give me a thumbs up if you like it. I really appreciate it. I want to know what you think. Am I steering you the right way? Getting your cocktail on? But whatever the case, come back again and again. There's always going to be a seat at this bar for you. And we'll make a lot more fun drinks, talk about fun cocktail stuff, time and time again. So until I see you next time, remember, these are great drinks, but drink them responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Call a ride share, call a friend, have a DD, whatever you need to do. Have fun. I want to see you back here again. Cheers.